Hello and welcome, connoisseurs. This is Nick from T-Vape. Today we are exploring the world of 510 thread batteries and what a magical world it is. It's a world where up is down, right is left, and all of your dreams are possible. But that's mainly just after using a 510 thread battery. In reality, the world is actually quite a practical place. We'll cover everything from how to use a 510 thread battery to tips on how to get the most out of your sessions. Plus, I'm going to share some insider tips and tricks to help you find the 510 thread battery that best suits your needs. Whether you're a seasoned pro or new to vaping, there's going to be something in this guide for everyone. Not all 510 thread batteries work the same way. While they all use the 510 threaded standard, their designs can vary widely. Some use screw-on cartridges, while others use magnetic adapters for quick swaps. And certain models are built exclusively for brand-specific pods. Activation methods also differ. Some are button-powered with different voltages, while some are draw-activated for simplicity. So depending on who you are and what you want, there is something for everybody. Unless you just got overwhelmed by all of those things I just said, and now you're in the fetal position crying. Well, fear not, because I'm going to walk you through it. The first rule of vaping is always fully charge your device before your first session. Most 510 thread batteries use USB-C or micro USB for charging, which is the same that you would use for your phone, making it convenient. Also, some devices allow you to vape while it's charging. However, I would still recommend getting a full charge to avoid interruptions. Oh, and keep your eye on the mini LED lights. The units that have them usually tell you how much battery you have left. Now, attaching your cartridge is where things get interesting. There are three main ways to do it depending on which battery you chose. Classic screw-on option is pretty much what it sounds like. You line up the threads and you screw it in the way you would screw in anything, the way humans have been screwing things in since the dawn of screwing. Don't go Hulk mode here. Over-tightening can damage the threads or block airflow. Think of it like closing a water bottle. You don't want it to leak, but you want to be able to open it again. Some batteries use magnets instead of screw-on mechanisms. First, attach an adapter to the cartridge. Then you just snap it in like it's a magnet. It's perfect for switching cartridges on the fly, quickly, no screwing around. Literally. So just remember, stick to the ones that are made for your battery. Also, some manufacturers like Tronian make their own Tron pods, but that doesn't mean that you can't use your own cartridges with their 510 vapes. On that same line of thought, the Tron pods are also compatible with other vaporizers. Now it's time to turn it on. If you've got a button-activated vape, then you just click it fast 3 or 5 times. Those seem to be the standard for most button-operated vapes. If your battery has adjustable voltage, there's usually a 3-click or single click to cycle through the different settings. Here's a general guide on how each temperature affects your vapor. The low temperature, less than 3.3 volts. This is perfect for flavor chasers or thinner oils. Medium, from 3.3 to 3.8 volts. This is the sweet spot for balance. Good for vapor, good for taste. High, more than 3.8 volts. This is cloud chaser mode. It's great for thicker oils or wax. Once the device has signaled that it's ready to go, start with slow, steady puffs like you're sipping a hot drink, not like you're slurping a milkshake. Why? Well, most devices have simple heating methods due to their smaller form factors. This means that it's going to take a while for concentrates to heat up to temp, especially with draw-activated devices that need that constant inhale in order for the hot air to be pulled through the oils. Now, as we're going to talk about later, some devices have found a way around these obstacles, but for now, what you're going to want to do is just start off with slow, small, controlled draws, because that will make sure that you get the most out of your session and out of your battery. Now let's talk about some bonus features that you might find on your battery, starting out with preheat mode. If your device has this, use it. Seriously, preheat mode is a game changer for preventing clogs in cartridges. When you activate it, the battery sends a quick, gentle warm-up cycle to your oil. This is great for thick concentrates. It helps loosen them up without vaporizing. No preheat mode, no problem. As long as your battery has a button operation and isn't draw activated, you can fake it. Tap that button in 1-second bursts while taking a slow draw. This will mimic that preheat function. One last pro tip, always inhale for an additional 2 to 3 seconds after you stop pressing the button. Any leftover vapor in the cartridge will cool down, harden, and become a clog. Clearing that out now saves you a headache later. When choosing a 510 thread battery, one of the most important factors to consider is cartridge compatibility. Not all cartridges are created equal, and their diameters can vary significantly. This can impact which batteries they work with and how well they fit. So let's break down the different types. Standard 510 cartridges. Most standard 510 thread cartridges have a diameter of 10 millimeters to 12 millimeters. These cartridges are designed to work with most 510 thread batteries. They're the most common one that you will find on the market, especially for pre-filled oil cartridges. The pros: they're widely available, easy to use, and compatible with most 510 thread batteries. The cons: they have limited capacity compared to larger or refillable options. Slim or smaller diameter cartridges. Some cartridges are slimmer, with diameters as small as 8 millimeters or 9 millimeters. These are often used in discrete pen-style vapes. While they still do use 510 threading, they might not fit well in batteries that are designed for wider cartridges. Cons: limited compatibility with larger batteries, and they often have smaller oil capacity. Wide or thicker cartridges. Thicker cartridges can range from 13 millimeters to 14 millimeters or even larger. These are often used for high capacity or refillable cartridges. Not all 510 thread batteries can accommodate these larger cartridges, so it's important to check your battery specifications. Pros: larger capacity, ideal for heavy users or those who prefer refillable options. Cons: it may not fit in smaller or compact batteries. That's all about the cartridges, but what about the actual batteries? Well, some manufacturers have implemented systems in place to try to make it so that they can adapt to many different cartridges. For example, the well-known Yokan Uni Twist offers its signature rotating disc, which can tighten or widen to help adjust to different cartridge sizes. Now, most devices don't offer these systems usually, and if you're somebody who wants to use different types of carts, it's better to just buy a device that's compatible with different types of carts. So we know that these units are different, but how do we pick the one that's best for you? Well, let's get into it. When shopping for a 510 thread battery, the best option is basically just on how you plan to use it and your own priorities. Let's break down the common priorities and features that tend to determine the different types of units. If you want a no-fuss experience, then you're going to want to prioritize draw-activated devices with a fixed voltage. These devices work like a traditional vape pen. Inhale to activate, no buttons or settings. Look for a slim, pocket-friendly design and a compatibility with the standard 10 to 12 millimeter cartridges. This setup is perfect for people who've used blinkers or discardable vapes, but are now looking for something that offers a little more longevity without adding in a bunch of complicated settings. If you love switching between cartridges, maybe you've got one for your daily commute, maybe you have a more flavorful one for the weekend, or maybe you even have one for when you want to stare at a tree and realize the beauty of nature and how connected we all are. For seamless swaps, prioritize adjustable features that remove compatibility headaches. Look for batteries with adjustable width rings or spacers. These devices will allow you to accommodate the many different sizes, from slim cartridges to larger refillable tanks. Pair these with magnetic adapters. These allow you to click cartridges in and out without wearing down the threads. It'll allow you to switch between flavors and oils easy on the fly. You're going to want to look for top-loaded batteries. These tend to have more space for larger carts, which usually means more compatibility. If you prioritize flavor and vapor quality, then you're going to want to look for a unit that has a variable wattage/voltage or temperature presets. Lower voltages preserve the terpenes in resin and rosin, while lower temperatures also help to not burn delicate oils. Another important thing to look at are the materials that are used in the vapor path. Most importantly, the heating element and the mouthpiece. These tips aren't just about getting bigger clouds or tastier hits. They will also help you get more out of your battery. Play with your voltage settings. Think of voltage like a stove burner. Low heat will preserve the flavor, while that high heat will bring the clouds. Start at 2.7 to 3.3 volts for terpene-rich oils. Crank it up to 3.7 to 4.2 volts for thicker concentrates. You'll get denser vapor, but be careful not to overdo it and crank it up too hot because you could damage your coil. Like a car, you don't want to gun the engine, unless it's a rental car and you got the insurance, in which case let it rip. Clean your battery like it's a fancy watch. A watch is one of those things that people used to wear before they had phones. Residue buildup is the silent killer of your sessions. Every few weeks or after every few cartridges, take a cotton swab dipped in isopropyl alcohol and make sure to clean the threads and the connection points. This keeps the electrical contact crisp and stops sticky gunk from blocking airflow. Bonus, also make sure to clean the mouthpiece if you are reusing a cart. Not only because of the above mentioned gunk making your sessions less impactful, but also you put your mouth on it. It's gross. Store it like it's a delicate ingredient. Batteries hate two things, extreme heat or extreme cold. So leaving it in a hot car or a cold garage can have a negative impact on your battery and the electrical component. If you're gonna put it in a purse or backpack, you should definitely put it in some sort of protective pouch or case, because this will prevent scratches or accidental button pushes. For those of you who wanna use your 510 thread battery discreetly, you're gonna wanna prioritize smaller, more streamlined designs so that they are not as noticeable when you are using or storing them. The key things you're gonna wanna look for discrete designs are devices that actually conceal the cartridge within the housing of the battery, or other devices that have at least partial concealment of the cartridge. What's great about these devices is not just their size, but it actually makes you feel like a spy with a new gadget. Getting the most out of your 510 thread battery isn't rocket science, but how you use it makes all the difference. Every little choice shapes your session, from dialing in the right voltage to pairing it with the right cartridge. You prefer big, bold clouds? Well, crank up the heat. If you want flavor, then you're gonna wanna keep it low and slow. And if you're the type of person who switches carts like playlists, then magnetic adapters and adjustable settings are your new best friends. Now, in the wrong hands, could a 510 thread battery bring about the apocalypse? Probably not, but used carelessly, you'll get weak hits, clogged carts, and a whole lot of frustration. Treat it right though, and it will reward you with smooth, consistent sessions. That's it for our 510 thread battery deep dive. If this helped you out at all, or if you have burning questions, then you should leave a comment below. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and bell buttons so that you will always stay updated on our new reviews, tips, and breakdowns of gadgets or how to use them. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'm Nick from T-Vape. Keep vaping.